got Coach Rassie Erasmus and Bongi Bonambi. Please raise your hands for questions because there's quite a lot of media, so we can give everyone a chance and then we can get going.
Rassie, was there any temptation at all, and if there was that in terms
of changing a team? No, we hoped everybody would be injury free. Obviously, there's always a few kneels and bumps and bruises like a game like that, and we hoped really that we can play the same team 2 games in a row. Just by answering that, maybe with one or other 2 questions that might be asked, next week, guys like Kanu Kane and Moody, those kind of guys. Hopefully against Portugal, some of those guys can get game time, but we are trying to get some momentum, and luckily the team is injury free.
Rassie, hi.
Yes.
Do we read into this that you've now established, for lack of a better phrase, a first team or a first squad at the moment, with All Blacks and those kind of things in mind for the future?
Yeah, I think when you've got a fresh Jaden and a Kobus Reinach and a Grant Williams and a Faf, and now Morne Krappies who competes, there's 5 proper scrum offs. I think with Damien Willemse, who's on the mend, and Andre and Mani and Sasha, and Jordan, there's 5 fly-offs in the mix. We're trying to build depth at inside centre with Andre Esreisen and Damien and Sasha, and Andre can play there outside centre. So I don't want to bore and go for every single position, but we're trying to give the guys who can still compete at the highest level until they can't anymore, and then trying to get succession planning in place for when we strike the World Cup in 2027. So but I think now just getting some momentum is probably our first aim. Oh, if I understand your question correctly, is if we picked out on their side. Yeah, I think there's only 2 injuries, so I think 2 injuries in a test match is normally normal. So we expected 1 or 2 guys that will struggle to get to the second test, but they didn't, and we're glad that a guy like Malcolm Marks got through. Bongi's been back a while. And probably when we go to, if things goes well and we keep momentum, we can give Grobbies and Jan Hendrik Westels and Andre Venter and some of those guys go there against Portugal. So the idea is the other guys have been training with us a lot, and we've got 37 guys in camp. We are going to release about 8 or 9 guys to play Currie Cup this weekend, but which might be involved next week against Portugal. But then again, it all depends on injury and how the vibe is, and how the supporters feel and how the media feel. You don't want to just do things for the sake of doing them.
Hi Rassie, how are you? What would it mean to you as players and you to beat Ireland the second time?
What would it mean? Sorry?
What would it mean to you?
No, we since we as a group are together, we've lost to them 3 points, 5 points, or something like that. And 2 was away games, and 1 was at the neutral venue. So they clearly had our number. And this weekend again, there was in the last minute. If they kept the ball through phases, it would have been a draw. And certainly they created a lot, and they could have scored 1 or 2 or 3 tries more. We both scored 3 tries, and I thought we had a few more opportunities that wouldn't have been just opportunities. I think there was some well-structured play that didn't end up in tries. Personally, when we go and play against the All Blacks, it's nice to win. When you play against Wales, it's nice to win. But Ireland is certainly one of the teams that's been peaking and ruling 6 nations and delivering world-class players and world 15s, and without a doubt, we know every single time when you go up against them, it's going to be a very tight match, and if we do manage to make it 2-0, it wouldn't be just satisfaction to me. It would be nice for South Africa and for the team and for our morale, because they have our number currently. They in the last 4 test matches they 3-1 up. So it would be nice, but not for me especially. I mean, for those South Africa.
You mentioned some of the structured attack. Do you think you've caught them a little bit by surprise with some of the style of it?
I think that one move of them from that middle ruck certainly caught us by surprise. I think that was a really well worked try from them. And then there was a few of them who just didn't go their way and step out of touch and those kind of things. And then on our side, I think we definitely in a team that's trying new things, and I think it is the time to try new things. We didn't have the opportunity in 2020, as I said many times. And we're not just trying to do it on attack, we're trying to do it on defense as well, and scrums and in lineouts and break down different things that we're trying to stay with the law changes and the way World Rugby wants the game to go. And if we don't adapt, we'll die a slow death. So we have to adapt, and whilst doing that, we will make mistakes. But I think if we did caught them out, it was only with the first try. After that, they really defended well.
Bongi, just your opinion on the scrums last week. It seemed like you guys had a few dominant ones. Ireland, had a few, it was fairly even. And then kind of the bomb squad got on top in the second half. Just your thoughts, and also your opinion on the impact of the loss of Dan Shear.
Yeah, I think when it comes to scrums, we had quite a good chat yesterday with Don and the whole pack, and we know in the first half we kind of got frustrated because Ireland obviously they look to play a lot of cheeky scrum time where we just want a fair competition. We want a fair contest of the scrum, but something that we definitely have to learn, something that we definitely have to train this week, and to know and obviously learn our lessons from the previous game. But I must say the bomb squad did an amazing job coming on, and obviously the penalty try was very satisfying for everyone. There's a lot of improvement to be done when it comes to scrumming against them. With the injuries, obviously, it's part of the game. It happens, and the other hooker, Killer, he's quite a good scrummager. He's more physical, so it's definitely not going to be easier. They do have top class front rows, and just one injury in the pack doesn't really make a difference. So we're expecting a very hard challenge when it comes to scrumming, but we'll prepare ourselves, and hopefully this coming week we'll get more rewards.
Rassie, Conor Murray is probably likely to play this weekend, so what kind of challenge do you think that will present to you if they go with him?
Yeah, I think calmness to the Irish team and Crowley at 10. It's always tough when you have two young 9s and 10s that away from home in Test match rugby. Always how they settle in. But we know Crowley is class, and so was the previous 9 who got injured. But Conor has been there and he's done it all. Lions, Munster, European Cups, Pro 14s, all of those kind of things. So he will bring a lot of calmness there. I know him personally well. He's a great team man. So I think overall calmness, and obviously a great kicking game with those box kicks might be a little bit longer. Maybe not at sea level that high, but he certainly kicks it the highest I've encountered as a coach.
Just from your perspective, do you have a specific plan in mind, Sasha? How do you balance a situation like him in the morning, and what is your discussions with Dodo in terms of what you would like?
No, we don't prescribe, or we like this weekend we found the franchise and sellers knew we want to release the following 8-9 players. Will they get game time with you if we release them? And most of them said, all of them said yes. and that would help if we pick them next week, that they had another game under their belt, because they've been training 3 weeks with us now. But then again, if Dobbo moves Sasha up 12, 10, 15, it helps us. You know, that's also, it helped us with Gaza when he played 10, 12 and 15. So what we're trying to do is we'll probably start next week with a new 10. And as you could see, Andre, who hasn't played for 4 or 5 weeks, you know, we got a bit tired in the second half, and we could have maybe put Sasha on a little bit earlier and give him some more test match experience. Same with the previous game where we gave Jordan a full go and put Sasha on for the last 25 minutes or something. So yeah, we're trying to build slowly and getting guys a taste of test rugby. And obviously Ireland is one of the teams that's right up there. It's sometimes difficult to just throw a guy in there, because that might just kill his future. I've been with a few players when I played, when they were just tossed in at the highest level without slowly bringing them into test match rugby. So no, we don't discuss that with the franchises, but we do ask them, will they give the guys game time, but not in specific positions. Like Jan-Hendrik Wessels for us is a loose-set hooker, 2027 future, with Joseph Dweba and Andre Hugo and Grobbies and Malcolm and Bongi, you know. So we're trying to get that squad depth, that we've got 5, you know, see how long the big boys can last, you know, can they go to the next World Cup, when do they fall off the speed, and then that the young guys get enough time. But if the senior guys keep on going like they're going, no need to make changes right now.
Bongi, I've got a question for you. The breakdown was obviously very hotly contested over the weekend. Was that something you expected? Are you expecting that again this week? And have you guys sort of been putting any sort of plans in place through this week to maybe try and counter their sort of ferocity at the breakdown?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with the new laws coming in, we know that the breakdowns definitely can be a point of how can I say? There's going to be a lot of pressure on it. By the refs and also by the players contesting for the ball. But then obviously with Jerry coming in, Jerry and obviously working with Dwayne, trying to improve our breakdown skills, with Jaco Peper also teaching us the laws, you know, when can we counter-ruck, when is the ball out, you know. Yeah, so we obviously know that the Irish team is definitely going to come harder than they did at Loftus. I mean, they pride themselves at sort of shortening the rucks, getting to our 9, slowing down our ball. So yeah, something that we really have to work hard on. We saw how it impacted our play when they start getting onto Faf and all that and shortening our rucks. So yeah, it's something that we're definitely going to have to focus on. But I mean, we have someone like Dwayne who's been doing it for years. He knows all the ground skills, and also teaching us, and also having Jaco Peper also teaching us the laws, when you're onside, when you're offside. And also, I mean, Jerry also doing an awesome, fantastic job teaching us exactly how the Irish players sort of train to attack our rucks. So yeah, something that we're really working hard on, something that we did already in pre-season, and yeah, it's good to see that it's paying off when it comes to the big games.
Rassie, on Saturday, particularly in the second half, you disrupted the Irish line a lot, and obviously you did that as well in the World Cup last year. How much of that is homework going on behind the scenes, and how much of it is players in the moment reacting to the pictures that they're seeing from them?
You know, with Paul O'Connell, you just know you'll have to be on top of your game. I know him personally. I worked with him 2 years, 8 months or 18 months, and played against him and everything, you know. So, you know, you're always going to get a very technical, tactical, smart line out with not just stopping their line out. They maul well, but they also got front peels and back peels and off the top also. There's so many things to cover. I do think the team is becoming a little bit more mature, and players are taking more responsibility in the sense of, like the Irish players that I experienced when I was there, you know, there's a bit of a culture difference where players comes in, learn profiles, study opposition, and it took us some time to get this squad. I mean, we started in 2018 and we're 6 years later. I think we've slowly brought that culture of taking ownership of those things, but we know it's like that, and you lose the next game 6 lineouts on your own ball and you don't get a ball off them. That's how smart Paul is, and his lineout callers are and the hookers are. So yes, it was nice to win a few, but then again they stopped our mauls like it was almost nothing. That's all the different small things that we must try and get on top of them, and they will certainly try the same.
Rassie, what's your response to sort of certain pundits calling you, when you bring on the bomb squad at the same time, calling you dangerous?
We do hear things and we do see things, and I'm on social media. I read things, and and there's some things that you really take to heart, and some things that you try and understand. I try to stay in touch with South Africa and what our people feel and how our people react, and try to be honest to the media without giving too much away. And to be honest with you, I've learned that if you know the laws and you know the protocols and you don't go outside the protocols, where I've been slapped over my wrist for not doing that, and then learning and adapting, I really don't see how that would. For our reality is, listen, man, we could have sent it on 1 by 1. But if all 6 go at the same time, I don't know if that's dangerous. I mean, Ireland definitely also play with 6-2. So I don't think the Irish team feel that way. I don't think Andy Farrell feel that way. I think that's one individual who said that. But I'm not even sure the Irish players would agree with that. They're too proud and they handled us well, and they still after that scored 2 great tries to make it a really tense game at the end. So and the one injury was in the first half on scene and before the bomb squad was on. So some things make sense when you see it, and others don't.
Rassie, do you know Matt Williams personally? Matt Williams, the guy who's
No, I know he's coached, we coach, and his coaching record and things and like that, but I don't know him as a person. So no.
You might have crossed him amongst those people.
No, I don't know him. No.
Rassie, you had a good guess at the Irish team last week. Is it just the 2 changes you're expecting this week personnel-wise? And would you expect them to play any different, or just try and do the same thing better?
I think the first week was easy because we knew exactly who was injured and who was not injured. And I don't think it's I actually tried just to compare the weights and the sizes and for people to see how close it is. People always tend to think we're this big heavy pack, but the last 8 games we've played, I think we were lighter than the opposition. Right through from number 1 to 15. Obviously, our wingers are lighter, but then we are not this big heavy pack that outweighs the opposition by 4 or 5 kilograms. We are normally 1 or 2 kilograms lighter. For me, that's the interesting thing about people saying we want more stoppages in the game, and there was certainly a really stop-start game. Not that it's anybody's fault. There was big injuries and those kind of things. No, I can't predict it. I don't know who of them trained when. I just read in that scene and the halfback Scrum got injured. So no, I would guess it will be Murray and Bundy and Ringrose and obviously Crowley at 10. I don't know if James Lowe's fit, he'll play, and then same wing and same fullback, I think. I don't know. Keller will come in scrum times, same props. I don't know if they're going to make a change at loose forward, but pretty much, and I think when one say that, you're not trying to play mind games. You're honest. You say what you think you're going to face, and you weigh it up, and you show it to the players, and you compare fitness and where they are in their season. They're at the end of their season. Like when we go to November, we're at the end of our season, and then we have to go over there and play England, Scotland, those kind of teams. They're at the end of their season. When they finish on Saturday, they're done. They go to a 4-5 week break, so they can give everything and know they've got 4 weeks off. We then go into our season. So those are just kind of things to bring everybody up to speed with where we are and so on. So it's really not always mind games. It's sometimes there's facts I try to put out there.
Rassie, we spoke a lot about Tony and Jerry, but you speak a bit about Wayne and Paul. He was talking about it earlier. But what's he like as a coach?
how is he any different, mentality-wise, and to the changes of him as compared to when he was a player? How have you found his first few months of?
Yeah. You see, the thing with Dwayne, what we brought him in with is to try and link up, and obviously we're now in test season, so he's spending more time with us than the Springboks. But no, he's not the guy that's the boss of Bongi or something like that. He brings in things that's still relevant. We as coaches, I can try and teach guys how we used to steal the breakdown, and I can see how other coaches, and we can upskill ourselves. And the players themselves many times come up with ideas. But a guy who still played last year and played against the Irish and played for Ulster, and played in France. It's same level players and him. He's not a coach up there, but obviously he's part of our management team. And sometimes in team selection meetings and just overall, and sometimes when we think that player is maybe not giving his best, or we must talk to him, he brings like a player's perspective into it, which helps a lot. And he's obviously 37, 38 the other day, so he's not a young man anymore, and he talks with real experience. And I think the players has received him well, and I think he really adapted in a way that nobody feel uncomfortable about that, which I'm very glad about.
Any further English questions, or can we switch to Afrikaans?
Rassie, I might be wrong, but since last year your wings have swapped. Is that the horses for courses thing against the opposition you played in?
They just swapped numbers, 11 and 14.
Yeah,
it's actually funny. We asked Kurtley, what is your favorite position? And he says he really doesn't care. And we asked Cheslin, because I think Pimpy and him was playing at the same time. And he said, no, it really doesn't matter. And I said, but what foot do you kick the best with? And he says he really doesn't care. And then I asked Cheslin, and Cheslin says he really doesn't care. So I said, okay, well, Mama Pimpy plays 11. So Kurtley, will you then go 11? And so that's the way that between the two of them, they worked it out. It doesn't look like they have a preference for tackle shoulder, and it doesn't look like they have a preference of trying to get out of a corner with a right or a left foot. I do think Cheslin, when we were under pressure and at one scrum and round 22, he did kick a belter there down the touchline, which maybe would have been a bit more tough for Kurtley on that side. So, no, they sorted out between the two of them.
Cool. Can we go to Afrikaans?
Rassie, in Afrikaans, hoe belangrijk was dit om dieselfde span te kies vir die wedstryd?
Ons wou bitter graag dieselfde span kies vir twee redes. En die eerste een is ons het teen Wallis 'n paar manne kans gegee. Ons weet nou soort van wat is hy man se karakter, en hulle het al die anthem gesing, hulle het 'n cap onder die belt, en dan kom ons, en dit was 'n Wallis eksperimentele span, jy weet, daar was baie van die Wallis spelers nie beskikbaar nie, so ons kon 'n paar kanse wag daar. Gelukkig om daai toets te wen daarom. En nou Ierland is, ek dink niemand van ons kan verby die feit kyk dat hulle track record is, nie net teen ons nie, teen die All Blacks weg, in die World Cup, en in die 6 nasies, so weet, dis nie 'n span teen wie jy baie eksperimenteer nie. Dis gelukkig vir ons wou graag dieselfde span 2 keer kies. Daar's ouens wat unlucky is, soos Evan, en daar's 'n paar manne wat ek kan nou 'n klomp name noem, en Mani en so aan, maar soos ek al verduidelik het, ou soos Mani is maar suiwer oor ons 6-2 split gaan. Hopelik as dinge goed gaan, maar selfs as dinge nie te goed gaan nie, teen Portugal sal ons nou weer 'n bietjie kan eksperimenteer en ander manne 'n kans gee, en miskien selfs 'n paar nuwe caps 'n kans gee daarso. So ons het regtig gehoop daar is baie beserings nie. Ons het verwag daar gaan 1 of 2 wees soos wat in die Ierlandse kamp is, maar gelukkig is daar nou nie. So ons is baie bly daaroor.
Ierland het 'n paar beserings, wat verwag?
Ja, ek dink dit is normaal om 'n paar beserings te hê. Ek dink dit is die eerste keer in 'n lang tyd wat ons nie 1 of 2 beserings het in 'n wedstryd nie, waar almal maandag oefen. Want ons policy is maar nog altyd, as jy nie maandag oefen nie, speel jy nie Saterdag nie. So baie keer, ek dink in die geskiedenis amper van 2018 af het ons nog net so 3 of 4 keer dieselfde span gekies na mekaar, want ons policy, wat is die Afrikaanse woord, as jy nie maandag oefen nie, speel jy nie Saterdag nie, weet. So, want ons moet mekaar coach en ons moet op dieselfde blaai wees en almal moet deur dieselfde feelings gaan van hoe voel ons maandag, hoe voel ons dinsdag en almal het voluit getrain gister en almal het voluit getrain vandag, maar ons het nog vanmiddag 'n harde fisiese sessie en môre 'n harde fisiese sessie. So dis nie te sê dat ons nie met 'n besering dalk gaan sit Vrydag of so voor die game nie. So ja, ons is baie gelukkig dat ons dieselfde span kies.
Wat sal dit beteken om die wedstryd te wen? When you're looking forward to Portugal and obviously Rugby Championship?
Ja, ek dink wen uit die game dan sou dadelik weer na Portugal toe, jy weet, en wat ons daar gaan doen. En wen jy Portugal game, as dit weer die Rugby Championships. En as jy klaar is met die Rugby Championships, dan is dit weer die einde van die jaar toer. So die volgende belangrikste game is Ierland. Jy weet, en as hulle wen, is dit 'n draw die series. Dan niemand bragging rights nie. En hy bragging rights is vir so rukkie en dan speel jy weer die volgende toets. So ons is voluit gefokus op Ierland en hulle is voluit gefokus op ons. Hulle is aan die einde van hulle seisoen waar ons gewoonlik in November van ons daai kant toe gaan. Dan ons spanne aan die einde van die seisoen, maar as daar klaar is, dan gaan hulle nog aan met die JRC regdeur. Dit is hoekom ons hierdie rustye het vir spelers in Februarie wanneer die 6 nasies aan het en nou vir die gewone klapspeler wanneer die Currie Cup aan het so 'n paar weke. So dis hulle laaste game, hulle gaan alles gee. Hulle is nommer 2 in die wêreld. Hulle is 6 nasie kampioene en hulle world-class spelers en hulle is 'n span wat gaan kom om hulle seisoen op 'n high af te sluit en ons sal wragtig goed moet speel om dit te kan keer.
We've got another 4 minutes or so. If there's any other questions.
Rassie, net op Ierland, baie kan verander in 'n week.
Ja.
Wat dink jy sal hulle miskien kan verander? Jy daar afgerig, jy ken die afrigters en die spelers.
Ja.
Dink jy hulle sal in 'n week met 'n ander plan kan vorendag kan kom?
Ja, ek weet nie of hulle noodwendig met 'n ander plan vorendag hoef te kom, jy weet, hulle het 7 punte verloor teen ons en hulle het sterker geëindig waar almal gedink het die altitude sal hulle dalk bietjie vang. Hulle het dit obviously baie goed gehandle en ja, hulle het ons baie keer gestretch op defense waar daar goeie scramble verdediging was en dan het ons 3 gedruk van opportunistiek as ek dit so kan noem en dan het ons 'n paar tries gemis wat ons nie kon geskoor het nie. So is nie dat hulle ver af is nie. Ek bedoel, was 'n baie tight game hier aan die einde gewees. Ek dink ons almal was baie nervous geweest en so ek dink as hulle is so settled en hulle kom al so lank saam en hulle is 'n span wat consistent van die vorige World Cup af. Daar nommer 1, 2, 3 in die wêreld is, jy weet. So hulle was hulle in hierdie posisie. En om Nieu-Seeland toe te gaan, om Nieu-Seeland daar te wen, die 6 nasies elke jaar te walk, weet hulle hoe om terug te kom. So ek is nie die een om vir hulle te vertel hoe nie, ek dink hulle weet self hoe.
Everyone happy? Cool. Thank
Okay,
you guys.
okay.
Dankie Rassie, dankie Blue.
Okay.